It's the postseason, which means it's playoff football. The time of year where you get an opportunity to prove yourself. You know, most other sports leagues like basketball leagues and baseball and hockey, they get more than one game to prove themselves, in the series. In the NFL, you get one chance. One chance is win or go home. You get one chance, one opportunity to prove yourselves, and you got to do it again the following week. You got to finish 1-0 every single time. And my Steelers got an opportunity to do that this week versus the Ravens on Saturday night when we head to Baltimore to play our rivals in a long list of rivalry games added to the resume. The Steelers have met the Baltimore Ravens, I believe, 4 times. It'll be the 5th time in the playoffs. So I'm very much excited to see what we do. So this is my game preview / my playoff hype video. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And without further ado, here we go. Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. It's playoff time, playoff football time. It's time to get to the postseason. It's time for us to go crazy, try to make some noise and make something happen. And this time in the playoffs, it's a new, kind of renewed rivalry really. It's a rivalry reborn because the Steelers will be playing the Baltimore Ravens. They'll be traveling to Baltimore. The Steelers and Ravens have played in the playoffs, 4 times, I believe so. And the Steelers are 3-1 in the playoffs versus the Ravens. The last matchup they played was in 2015, where Terrell Suggs had that interception with his legs like that. He caught an interception. The Steelers lost 30-17 in that game. Usually the Steelers are at home, but this time the Steelers will be traveling on the road trying to make history and try to pull off the upset of the century and go out there and handle something and handle some business and try to beat Baltimore in Baltimore. You guys know the Steelers and Ravens rivalry, the rich history of the rivalry. It comes down to a lot of things. This rivalry is always, 2 teams going at it, going back and forth, and these teams just have a blood feud rivalry, really. You look at the games we had this season versus the Ravens. The Ravens won 1, we won 1. We won 1 at our home, they won 1 at their home like that. And, both teams just have this rich history like that. We've seen it throughout years. My favorite play, favorite Steelers play ever is the playoff game when Steelers played the Ravens, the AFC Championship game. The Steelers are going to Super Bowl 43 thanks to number 43. Remember, Palomalu had the pick 6 he brought back home, and that led to Steelers to the Super Bowl that year, and the Steelers won that Super Bowl that year versus the Cardinals. Our last Super Bowl victory, actually. So the history between these 2 teams are amazing. See the great players like James Harrison, Palomalu, Big Ben, of course, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, Ray Lewis, all the greats that played and stuff, of course, in these games, in these battles, the blood feud rivalry. When you become a Steeler fan, and you become a Steeler player or Raven player or a Raven fan, if you got any type of love for the team or you own the team or part of the organization, you kind of embrace the rivalry. It's kind of like engraved in you and stuff. So it's going to be a big time matchup. I know a lot of people are overlooking the Steelers because of what happened. Of course, the past, 3 games, when you pass 4 games, the Steelers lost 4 straight. But in a rivalry game, when you're playing a division opponent and you see a division opponent 3 times, everything is different. No one want to see anybody 3 times in the playoffs, and the Steelers will play the Ravens for a 3rd time, and anything can happen. The Steelers might have lost this last one they played against the Ravens, but overall the Steelers have had done a good job at finding ways to exploit the Ravens, finding ways to make Lamar have some bad games. Lamar played pretty good last game against the Steelers, but the Steelers, I wouldn't be surprised they went in there and went to Baltimore and they went out there and shut some stuff down and pull off an upset, a surprise upset. I know the Steelers are definitely going to be the underdogs, but I think they can find a way to win. They just go out there and play their game. The Steelers are at their peak. It was a 10-3. We had everything going. Before the season started, we had a lot of expectations for our team. The expectation for our team wasn't really high. A lot of people had expectations that we're going to probably be a 7-win team. It was like, oh, we don't expect the Steelers to do too much out there. And the Steelers went out there and shine. They had a tough schedule, of course, but they went out there and shine. At one point, it was 10-3. 10-3 at one point. Up there on top of the mountain, 10-3. What they say God give you everything sometimes, and see how you can handle it. And the Steelers mismanaged and mishandled it, and they lost their opportunity, losing 4 straight and knocking themselves from the top of the division to become 2nd place in the division and losing the division overall. But in life, you do get a second chance to right your wrongs, and the Steelers have a second chance right now in the playoffs to right their wrong. It's a postseason for a reason. A lot of people keep bringing up the past, saying that, oh, the Steelers lost 4 straight, but in the postseason, none of that stuff matter. What you did in the regular season don't matter. Of course, you get a home field playoff game, but what you did in the regular season, but every game is going to start off 0-0. And every game is going to start off with both teams having 0, like I mentioned, 0 points. Like they're not going to be one team that starts off with 10 points just because they're at home or got a better record than you. None of the records matter, because anybody can lose at any given Sunday. The playoffs is on the playoffs like that, and you have an opportunity and a chance to go out there and make some noise in the playoffs. You have a chance to right your wrongs. If you win this playoff game, when you win this playoff game, I'm feeling very confident in the Steelers. I think the Steelers can go out there and pull something off. I know I was a little mad a little bit. Right after the game, you can get a little mad and a little angry. You be like, man, we're going to get jacked up. We're going to get beat down in the playoffs. But, at the game, you have your emotion right there, and you go, and you have the emotions in and everything tied into it. But you never want to be too high, too low. So I want the players to bring any of that baggage from the end of that season. I want them to come with a clean slate. Like Russell Wilson said, have amnesia. Forget everything that happened. Come with a clean slate. Don't get too high, too low, and go out there and play. This is your first game of the season. Every game will start off 0-0, and every team will start off 0-0 in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, you got to look to be 1-0. You cannot lose, because it's not like MLB, it's not like NBA or WNBA or what else? Another place, NHL, who have series. You can play multiple games. In football, you get one chance. You get one chance to go out there and prove it. And if you don't win, you go home like that. You get one chance to prove it, and the Steelers have an opportunity, a second chance, to right their wrongs. You win this playoff game, nobody's talking about those last 4 games that happened in the regular season. No one care about that. You're like, oh, they still won this playoff game on the road. They won this game, and now they're going to the next round, and you see what happens, and if you play good enough to play like you're supposed to play, you might see yourself winding up deep in the playoffs. I know people might think I'm delusional or crazy for saying that, but it's possible. I feel like this was going to be the matchup for us. I want us to put the Texans, of course, at first, but now I feel like it's our destiny. The Steelers always been a team to go on the hard path, on the hard road, to find a way to get it done. It was a 6 seed before, and they got to the Super Bowl. Who said they can't do it again? I know people might think it's crazy to discuss that, but like I mentioned many times, and once you get a chance to get in the dance, you have opportunity to try to go the whole way. I'd rather be in the playoffs and, people say, oh, you lost, you went one and done again, than be at home and not have a chance opportunity. You think the Bengals care they would have got to the playoffs and lose the first round? You just want to get in there, because you get in there, you get a chance. You get an opportunity and a chance to try to right some wrongs, to get an opportunity, a chance to make it happen and stuff. No one care about regular season record. We've seen the Bengals, like I mentioned, the Bengals again a few years back. Went to the Super Bowl. It was 10-7. Went to the Super Bowl. I think anything can happen, So go out there and make something happen. Regular season, of course, is good enough. It's good for you to get to the playoffs by winning enough games, but it's also great, in the postseason, to just leave that in the regular season, because everything is different. Because some guys are injured, and some things are happening. Schemes are different, and people play different because the pressure is different. Sometimes the pressure is too much for some people. Sometimes the pressure is just right for some people like that. Can go out there and overcome it and find a way to win. And that's what this game is going to be about. The Steelers and Ravens games are always about imposing will. Both teams are very similar in nature. Both teams go out there and they look to be physical, and they look to be perseverant, and they look to just go out there and impose will. And we're going to see who outwill the other. There's going to be a lot of players who kind of give up on both sides of the ball, both teams. I think I'm trying to, might have the pressure too high for them, might give up. There's a lot of players who are going to show up. Lamar Jackson, we know he's going to show up. We know Derrick Henry is going to show up. We've seen a big-time playoff performer that he had with the Titans and stuff. He's going to show up. We know T.J. Watt hasn't played a playoff game in almost 3 years, and he's biting for it. He still hasn't won a playoff game yet. He's going to show up. Cam Hayward looking to make that final run, looking to get that opportunity to get to the championship. Never won a Super Bowl. He's going to show up. There's a lot of individuals who are going to go out there and show up, and who are going to play with their heart on their sleeve and go out there and show the team that don't worry about what happened in the regular season. We lost the last 4. If we win this game right here, that silences all that noise. That silences everything. And we can keep going and keep stacking it, try to find a way to a chance to try to get there, back to the promised land, and fulfill the story and finish our story like Cody Rhodes did. He finished his story of WrestleMania. Can we finish our story? Go out there and win that 7th Super Bowl, be the first team in NFL history to win 7. Can we go out there and do that? That's kind of like the scenario surrounding the Steelers for the past few years, trying to finish our story and trying to find a way to just get it done. I know we had some up and downs, of course, a lot of mishaps and mismanagement of things. We could have said, what if we won this game? What if we won that game? A lot of those games that came down to the wire. What if we won those games? We'd never be in a predicament. Yeah, it's true, but you can't live in a what if world. This is not Marvel. There's no what ifs. There's only reality, and the reality is we in the playoffs. We have an opportunity and a chance. We have a clean slate to start over and try to find a way to win versus the Ravens in Baltimore on Saturday night. It's going to be a very good time. Saturday night is all right for a fight, like Elton John said. And I think the Steelers can go out there and put up a big-time fight and try to find a way to get it done. It's going to be nice, and we're going to see who comes out on top. Both teams are going to be gunning out there, because Lamar Jackson, his Ravens, of course they are very good in the early season, but remember that thing that plagued them a little bit, kind of like Peyton Manning a little bit. All the MVPs, all the accolades, but not championships. Eventually Peyton Manning got over that hump and found a way to win 2 championships, of course, like that. But Lamar Jackson, same story. So he's going to be gunning out there because he got a chip on his shoulder. People talking about him like, oh, he's the MVP, but he still can't get it done in the playoffs. And in the Steelers too as well. People talking about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, you're a future Hall of Famer, but I think you're done. People think you're done now like that. TJ Watt, great player, but are you ever going to give her that hump and get a championship? Cam Hayward, same thing. I think you guys don't have Hall of Fame. You have Hall of Fame careers, but can't give her that hump and get a championship. Coach Tomlin. All right, can you give her that hump and finally win a playoff game in years and lead your team back to the AFC Championship game, lead your team back to the Super Bowl to win a championship again? Can you do that? Can you make a one final run? Do you have it in you? There's a lot of chips on a lot of people's shoulders. I think we're going to see who goes out there and win it and who goes out there and handle business. So it's going to be a very big-time game, a very good game. I think the Steelers will go out there and be ready and be pumped. I'm very excited for these playoffs, I'm ready to get things started. So with that being said, the only thing I have to say to end this video off is a phrase that all the Steelers Nation know, and that is, here we go, Steelers, here we go. See you guys on Saturday, for the post-game show. Of course, the final predictions as well. And also a lot of coverage that be going on through the game. I'll be doing a live watch party on my channel, so be on the lookout for that. So yeah, it's going to be very cool, but I'm very excited, very pumped up. And I hope Steelers Nation, you guys are ready too as well. Peace out.